right, YouTube. This is Mr. Mean coming at you from very sunny, cold Duluth, Minnesota. It is like 22 degrees, I think, today. I'm not even sure. Let me check the phone. Check the phoneage. 31 degrees. Oh, the temperature rose. The sun popped out, so it's gotten warmer. So, first things first, I apologize if I sound a little stuffy. I got a head cold. Don't know where it came from. I got a head cold. It is what it is. But I wanted to whip out another video. My son is taking a nap right now, so I wanted to make sure that I got something out today. I went yesterday, Saturday, to the cities, the Twin Cities here in Minnesota, and there's a gaming store called The Source, and it is a phenomenal game store. There is a little bit of everything in there. They have quite the RPG wall of goodness. And on top of that, they were having a 20% off sale, holiday sale on everything in the store. I wish I would have had more money because there was a couple more things I wanted to pick up. I wanted Emerald City for Mutants and Masterminds because I'm getting ready to run a Mutants and Masterminds campaign on Discord, and that's a book that would be helpful to me. I can pick it up on Amazon for about the same price. Actually, it would be more on Amazon, but I would get the free shipping and I would get it in 2 days. Whereas if I could have bought it there at the Source, I think it's $40 brand new or $38.95, and then I'd have got 20% off of that. So I'd have got $7-8 off of it. So, but I had to spend the gas. It took roughly a tank of gas to get there and back. But anyway, when I was there, I did pick up the Alien Archive for Starfinder, so review coming on that here pretty soon. I'm really digging the Starfinder system, but I managed to get Esper Genesis for 5th edition, and I gotta say I think I'm liking it more. I've been reading it a little bit today and last night, and I really enjoyed it. So look for a review coming out real soon. As always, a little housekeeping out of the way. You're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. It helps me out, though. Obviously, if I get the numbers up there, I can start doing paid sponsorship and all that fun stuff. I can start getting paid from YouTube. Long way to go. You have to have 1,000 subscribers minimum. So obviously, just like and subscribe. Tell your friends if you like my content and you think they would. Pass it along. I'm just a struggling YouTuber trying to do something that I do for fun and put a little food on the table there for the family. If you want to financially support me, obviously you can through Patreon. There'll be links in the video description and in the doobly-doo at the bottom that will click on to Patreon. I'm thinking about moving from Patreon to another service. One of my subscribers told me some stuff that's going on with Patreon and kind of the Yankee stuff they're doing, and I'm not actually hip with that. But we'll see how it affects my channel and everything like that. So far, nothing's come through to affect me personally. But my subscribers are the ones that pay for this service, to be honest, and so I have to kind of listen to them. So we'll see. I'm going to look into it, but for right now, you can join me on Patreon for as little as $5 a month up to $15 a month, and then go from there. And I do appreciate it. Obviously, it helps me and allows me to go do things like that because this is exactly what happened. I got my Patreon funds and I went to the cities. And today's video RPG du jour, Vampire 5th edition. If you watched last week's video, which those of you on YouTube won't be able to see it now because my Patreons get it the day I post it. Everybody else gets it 7 days later. So my last video will go up tomorrow, I believe. It automatically unlocks on YouTube and it'll be available for everybody. This is the pre-pulled controversial issue. This is the one that they yanked off the customer stores. I don't know why the Source still had it up because my understanding was they wanted all of their copies back. I had this pre-ordered with it was the Camarilla bundle or whatever they were calling it, and it was the slipcase with this book, the Camarilla book, and then the Sabbat book for like $117, which was a great price from Game Nerds. Unfortunately, these guys, World of Darkness, and have received a little grief and a little political backlash from some of the stuff. I want to say it's Chechnya or somewhere over there in the Eastern European bloc. I apologize if I've got it wrong. I have not kept up on it because it doesn't, to me, it's silly. Human suffering is just that, and I don't want to belittle it or make light of it. But evidently, the people at White Wolf, the writers, wrote some stuff in here based on real world events that are happening over in Europe with gays and lesbians and that LBGT community being persecuted and hunted and killed and imprisoned and whatever other horrible things are happening right now over there. Like I said, I do not have my finger on the pulse. I'm not a political guy. I don't watch the news. But this kind of affects our community. And I think me personally, my opinion, there's enough hate and drama and negativity in the world. We don't need to bring it into our hobby. That being said, this is a game where you eat people. I mean, there's no other polite way to put it. This is a game of dark personal horror. A storytelling game of personal and political horror. So they're talking about the stuff that's going on over there, and they put it in the game, and I guess a lot of people took offense to it, and rightly so. I don't think we needed to put that part of it in there, but for whatever reason, World of Darkness guys decided to pull this book and delay the printing of it. And for those people who had pre-ordered the collector's bundle, which is what I had ordered, I also ordered the GM screen and a set of dice because it comes with some cool red dice and some black dice. And the red dice are the hunger dice. We'll get into that a little bit later. But the problem was I still hadn't received my books yet. I wasn't going to get them until I think after the new year. And then I reached out to Game Nerds when I heard about the news about the White Wolf was pulling the books, and said, where does this leave me with my pre-order? And they said, well, we don't know. The books are being redone, and they'll send them back out. And of course, World of Darkness guys and the people that own it have issued a press release, and I guess some people got fired or companies were separated and yada yada yada. A lot of politics, which for me is just too much in my role-playing game. I don't want to deal with all that. I play role-playing games to escape reality and to tell a good story. My personal games don't revolve around whether you're gay or whatever or anything, or killing those type of people that just because they're different from the norm. Vampires are monsters, and it's about your own personal horror and how you deal with living for ages. And that's kind of like the stories I like to focus on, and the political and the power struggles that go on within that vampire community, trying to deal with, the human sector of life and any other creatures that exist in the World of Darkness. So, long story short, I canceled my pre-order, but when I was at the source yesterday, I saw this, and like I said, it was my understanding that all of these were supposed to be pulled, and they were going to send distributors and retailers copies. I did get a download code for the PDF, which I have. So instead of trying to hold this up and show you everything and the art and everything, we're going to actually go through the PDF. So just wanted to show you that I do have the physical book. It is a chunky tome. It retails for, I think the MSRP on it was $59.95 or $55.95. But I got it for 20% off. I also picked up the Alien Archive, and I got out for basically what I would have paid for this full product, because the Alien Archive was on sale at the source for 75% off. And if you're not sure what that is, that's for the Starfinder role-playing game from Paizo Publishing, and it's basically a monster manual or an NPC manual, but there are some playable races in there. It's a very cool book. I'm very happy to have it in my collection, but we'll do a review on that one separately, probably next week. But right now, I wanted to go through the PDF because it's supposed to be the same thing as here. But I just want to show you that I did physically buy the book, and I'm very happy to have it. I would have liked to have gotten the collector set, but it is what it is. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump over here to the PDF. And there we go. So there's the cover. I think it's a gorgeous cover. I do like it. Um, Mature content warning. Now, this harkens back to what we were just talking about. This is your disclaimer. I mean, they're telling you right now that there's religious fanaticism, state and private surveillance, many other issues. This version of the game does not shy away from any of the above, and we believe exploration of subjects like these is valid in role-playing games, and as it is in other media, including problematic subject in a storytelling game, is not the same as glorifying it. And if you take the chance to explore it critically, it can be the exact opposite. If we understand the problems facing us, we are better armed to fight them. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Basically, they're referencing real-world events. We strive for realism in our role-playing games. It's what every article you read about role-playing games touches somewhere, some shape, somehow on realism. We want hitting someone with a sword should act like this, and so we strive to make it more realistic, and so that's what they're telling you here. And they say this is a game about monsters, but it is only a game. Do not use it as an excuse to become a monster yourself. E.g., don't be a dick. It's that simple. I mean, come on, we're supposed to be adults. Here's all the people behind it, the dedication, the art, everything. So let's get into Free League Publishing, White Wolf, table of contents. They go through the tribes, kindred society, concepts, the clans. So we've got our standard clans from, I don't think they've removed anybody. Let's see, Bruja, Gangrel, Malkavian, Nosferatu, Tremere, Toreador, Ventru, and the Caitiff. So that's pretty much everybody. And then it goes into a bunch of other stuff and character creation and all the clans, the rules of the game. So very cool. But what I wanted to do is just kind of scroll through the book here and look at stuff. I love that the fact that one of the chapters is "You are what you eat." The blood is the life. Hunting and humors, resonance and experience. They've changed a couple of the core mechanics, but the game still very much plays the same way it did before. You still have humanity. You still have willpower. I can look at the... actually, I'm not going to do this. I want you guys to see what I'm seeing. Let's go to the very bottom of the book, and here's our character sheet. So, pretty much the same thing. Character sheet really hasn't changed that much. Physical, strength, dexterity, stamina, social, charisma, manipulation, composure, mental, intelligence, wits, and resolve. Your health and your willpower now are right there. It used to be on the bottom of the character sheet, so I like that. Then, of course, your skills. I'm pretty sure I haven't read through the book yet. I've only flipped through it to just get a visual interpretation of what I think it looks like and everything to pass on to you guys if this is something on your radar. I cannot stress enough, this is a mature game. This is a game for adults. If you've got 7 to 15-year-olds that want to play, this is probably not the game for them. You as the game master or the storyteller can tone it down and tell the kind of story that is those. But I think there's better games suited for that age bracket of children. I think this is a game for mature players. Even if your 15-year-old has their head screwed on pretty tight, I still don't think this is a good game for them because of the concepts that the core concepts of the game, drinking somebody's blood, stuff like that. Those are things that I don't think, I know they see movies and Twilight and everything. It's just not the same thing. And I think we need to, we as parents and adults need to shield our children and that younger generation from that. That's just my opinion. Your mileage may vary. And if you want your kids to play vampire with them, go for it. It's your world. Some blank spots to put your disciplines. Each discipline has 5 ranks, so that's pretty cool. The new concept is resonance and hunger. We always had humanity, and the lower humanity, the more of a monster you are. But hunger, from what I understand, hunger is however many tick boxes you have, which of course you can have up to 5. That's how many of the red dice you're going to put in. So when you create your dice pool, which basically your dice pool is based on your attributes and a skill. So if I'm gonna punch someone, I'm gonna do dexterity plus brawl, and say I have a 3 dexterity and I have a 2 brawl. I'm gonna roll 5 dice. But every night when you wake up, I believe you wake up with 2 hunger. That's the starting. Of course, there's going to be some flaws and stuff that you could take that's going to modify that, or advantages that you're going to, or disciplines that you're going to be able to take that are going to modify that. But for the most part, I think you wake up every night with 2 hunger. So the first thing you need to do is go feed, because anytime you're required to make a die roll, you're going to add, so in this case, the dexterity plus brawl, out of those 5 dice, and let's say I've just woken up, it's nighttime, and I have 2 hunger dice, 2 red pips there, 2 red tick marks, whatever you want to use. I have to roll out of those 5 dice. 2 of them have to be red. They could still succeed, but if I roll a 1 on them, then it's really bad. And the hunger, and then there's rules in the Storyteller's Guide to tell you how to work with that. And I think that's a really cool mechanic. Previously, if you just made a roll and you botched, and your humanity was kind of low, or your willpower might have been low, the GM would, you and the GM would narrate it. And there were mechanics and stuff within the World of Darkness to figure that out. But now they've given you a pretty solid guideline to say, hey, your hunger. I mean, if you got a hunger of 3 and you're only rolling 3 dice, and you got to replace all 3 of those dice with those 3 red dice, and you have to roll those red dice, and you botch, so you get no successes and all 1s, which is easy. It can happen. It's brutal. I mean, you're going off the deep end. You're going to probably lose a point or 2 of humanity, and you're going to fuck up everyone around you. So that's just kind of a neat mechanic to be aware of. I like it a lot. We're just going to go through here. This is just a primer, like a lot of the early World of Darkness books. There's a short story that's given with, from the point of view of characters within the game. And they seem to, goes on till about page 13. And then they go to some different stuff here. But it's all flavor text, this. And we get into, some pictures and people, and sure, this is breaking the Masquerade in some way, shape, or form. So a lot of flavor text. Death is not the end. That's a big saying. I like the neon art concepts. So this is where you start with your World of Darkness characters. It is your excuse me, is your concept. Enter freely and of your own free will. Classic line of Dracula to Jonathan Harker. Gary Oldman as Vlad Tepes. Great movie if you haven't seen it. I recommend, if you're going to run a vampire game, that's probably a good one to go see, especially if you're going to run like a medieval vampire. So the first thing that strikes me, the book is stitched, perfect bound, and glued. You can actually smell the glue on there. I can't smell crap right now because my nose is all foobarred. But yeah, the book is put together very well. It's gorgeous. Even though it looks like the printing house is modifius, I was a little miffed that they didn't include any ribbons. Some red satin ribbons would have been fantastic in this, but they didn't include it. Maybe on the collector's edition that I would have got might have it. And if Miniature Market or Game Nerds offers that again, I might try to pick it up. Because I'm working now and things are going a lot better. The art, the layout of the book is very nice. I gotta say I like it. The art is hit and miss with me. I'm not actually impressed with a lot of the art. This is okay, but what the hell is that? I don't know what that's supposed to be. Is that a human being? What is that? I don't know. Is that a woman? Yeah, it's a woman and it's her hair, but it's crazy looking. Obviously, they're feeding. There's a naked chick, they've drained her. Not too, I mean, you could kind of see her boobs. You don't see her crotch. You're not quite sure what's going on. The layout, I like it and I don't like it. I don't like these lines in between. GURPS kind of did something like this in their 3rd edition, and I didn't like it. But their 3rd edition had the lines here on the side, so you just had the center section of the page, and it didn't jive with me. But like I said, some of the art is really good. This is just reminds me of Amy Whitehouse, total vampire, and that's her, man. It's a solid image of Amy right there, as far as I'm concerned. Just a good image, very disturbing, obviously. Uh, you know, the book is thicker than it needs to be because to me it's a lot of wasted space. But I get why they did it. It's for the layout and the ambiance of the book, and it does play well. I mean, this is nice. The earlier, Vampire first edition and second edition, the New World of Darkness kind of did the same thing. New World stayed kind of with the layout that was kind of its own thing, but it's in between this and the original Vampire, and it's still good. Like I said, I like the artistic part of it, but not all of it jives with me. Here's another, cool picture. Just I don't know. Just it's very evocative. I like it. Kindred society, where we are. Where's daggers in men's smiles? There's daggers in men's smiles. Near the blood, the nearer the bloody. William Shakespeare from Macbeth. White Wolf and the people behind it have always done a good job of pulling these awesome quotes. The only other company I've seen that's done it quite as well, and maybe even slightly better, is AEG when they were publishing their Legends of the Five Rings first and second edition. But they were made up for the most part, although there were some Sun Tzu quotes and stuff. So again, really setting the ambiance and the atmosphere of this game to be dark, spooky, and broody. And just, it's a shit world out there and we've got to live in it. But then you go to art like this, and it just, to me, this just kind of rips me out of the mood. I mean, I know this is supposed to be edgy and it's supposed to be, dark and gritty and scary like this. This is fine. I get it. They're talking about the Camarilla. We all wear masks. Some of us just wear them on the outside. But then you go to shitty art like that, and you get a page layout like this, and the blood drop. I get it. This is a cool art. Reminds me of the movie Near Dark with Bill Paxton and half the crew from Aliens. It's very cool art. I like it. It's very easy to read, obviously, on these old eyes. Here's a cool, gang members or whatever. You don't know. These are Bruja, most likely. Could be Gangrel. Could be a Malkavian. You don't know. But, they're giving you, it's a different layout. Let's see. I'm trying to find. Oh, here's another one. Obviously, that's kind of spooky. I don't know what that is, and that would scare the shit out of me because her eyes are creepy looking. And then we go to this. And you can see some fangs. So, and then here we go into the clans, and we've got the Bruja, and they tell you who they are, and then the art. They give you this core art, and while I get it, like I said, I do like the art style. A lot of it leaves a question, because this to me just sparks like fantasy. It sparks. You're taking me out of the immersion of the world of darkness, and it just doesn't work for me. It's not bad art. It totally makes sense. I get it. I just don't like it. That's just me. Your mileage may vary. You might like it. I just don't get it. It to me, it rips me out, and I don't like that. So, I mean, that's more evocative of a Bruja to me right there. Bruja, however you want to say it. And that works. I mean, that's definitely, that could have been an RK Post black and white drawing that would have been just as solid and would work, so I'm okay with it. The Gangrel, my favorite clan. I'm a huge Gangrel fan. It's the clan I identify with. If I've played Vampire maybe once, maybe twice. I've always been the GM. Again, they give you a little bit about it, tell you, go on the background, folk favorites, who the Gangrel are, archetypes, and then we go into this art again. And this looks like it should come out of something like, Palladium Riffs. I don't envision this in, my world of darkness. I get where they're going from. It's not bad art. It actually is pretty nice looking. It pulls me out of it for some reason. And I don't know. This is cool. They could have went with this, and I'd have been cool with it, and left it at that. So let's see. What's the next clan? Malkavian. So again, and it follows this for all the clans. I'm not going to go through each one, but look. I mean, I get this. you know, totally makes sense. I don't like it. It just pulls me out of it. This is Malkavian. I totally get that. You know, that's totally. I mean, if they'd have given me a couple of images along this line and left this out of the book, I'd have been totally happy, and it would make sense. The RK Post art. I don't know where RK Post is. I know he's an older gentleman now. I don't know if he's still doing artwork or not, but I really really wish they could have got him to do the art for this. This, it's very creepy looking, and what's going on, we don't know. Nosferatu, they go in to tell you a little bit about him, and then that's not Nosferatu to me. Nosferatu to me in the World of Darkness are misshapen. They're, monsters. They are the physical representation of the monsters. Malkavians are the mental representation of a monster. Malkavian character can look totally normal, but is just crazy as all fuck shit. Whereas, the Nosferatu are deformed. They've got bumps, and they're hunched over, and, these are not, to me, Nosferatu. I mean, so where are they going? I'd have to read up. See, that's Nosferatu to me. That right there is got it. And they could have left it at that, and it just gone on. Hideous and vile, all Nosferatu count as having the repulsive flaw. So, I mean, how are these repulsive? I mean, they're not disfigured. They're not hunched over. They're not malformed in any way. So it doesn't fit. And that's just my opinion. Again, that fits. You see that walking down the street or in an alley, and you'd be like, "What the fuck, over?" So yeah, not feeling it. Another cool piece of art. Definitely. Again, don't want to leave this laying around for the little ones to look at, because we got some boobies there. But I mean, it's a cool piece of art, and it totally makes sense for the Toreador. But then we go to the art. And I mean, what is that? The Spice Girls? I mean, what the hell? Where's Toreador? In my vision of the World of Darkness, Toreador is the super, Jason Momoa in a 3-piece suit, with his hair hanging out, or Gerard Depardieu, in a pair of Calvin Klein jeans with a pair of Dockers on, and a shirt halfway on, but just male sexuality or female sexuality, a diva, and that just doesn't spark it for me. It just doesn't do it. And then here, I guess this is probably the Tremere. Yeah. So let's see what they did to the Tremere. So what? All Tremere are gypsies? Is that what you're telling me? Rastafarians, possibly, or playing at being a vampire. That just pulls me right out of it, man. It just doesn't sell it for me. See there, that's a Tremere to me. That screams Tremere right there. Or Ventru. I mean, I'm sorry, that screams Ventru. And if we're gonna take the effort to make this picture, and I'm assuming this is a woman, kind of judging by the lack of an Adam's, why don't we put some bite marks on her neck? A little trickle of blood going down. Here's our Ventru. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. It's okay. Sorry, the old nose is getting the best of me. So, that's a cool picture too. She's got a little pet there. It's pretty solid. And then the clanless, the caitiffs. So, again, the art, it almost looks like a copy of Vogue magazine, like an edgy copy of Vogue. And I like it, but it doesn't scream vampire to me. And that's what I don't like. This screams vampire to me. But it also screams, Chanel No. 5, which does have a place in vampire. I get it. But again, a black and white drawing, I think, would have went a lot farther. Like this screams vampire to me, the edgy things. So But that's enough of picking on the book. There's what the hell is that? Who knows? It's weird. And then we've got, again, would have been much better suited as just a black and white drawing, with some shadows in it. And then we got, what is this? Does it just, now we're into like the backgrounds of whatever these people, character creation. So we go into our character creation and what these people are in a summary. Clan and sire, you get to make a bunch of choices, and if you're a predator, you pick your predator as a subtype, yeah. So it goes through character creation quite well. Not bad art. It's a little dark, a little edgy. What do I do in this game? So I think it's going to be a good read. The physical layout. The white, this white is just glaring at me. I want to see some splashes of color, some dark edges, maybe a black border going around it. I don't know. The art is, like I said, it's okay. We've got our different, socialite executive. We do have some dark pages here, that's kind of cool. I like that. So the layout is, like I said, I feel they wasted a lot of space with these lines and stuff. The art's okay. It doesn't scream to me. These are the same two guys from earlier, just in a different pose, and that's okay. They're reusing they probably paid X amount of money. Here's a cool, lovers entwined or whatever. So here's a cool. Is that bumps on his face? What is this? Is this a Nosferatu? Because earlier you showed me images that the Nosferatu weren't deformed, but now you're showing me someone who is deformed. It's got a huge claw. It's got bumps on his face. The classical Nosferatu fangs, the two in the front instead of off-kiltered for the canine teeth. I'm confused. You're sending me mixed images. So it's a little bit disconcerting in that aspect. I do like the art. I like the flavor of it. The style is okay. And there's kind of a play on the cover art. Good bit of fiction in here, but there's a lot of information as well. Coterie, when you're creating your clan, your group of vampires or coven, whatever you want to call them, a coterie. This is a cool picture. I like this one with the sawed teeth. It's a full page spread, which I really like. Vampires. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, no soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourneth among you eat blood, for it is the life of all flesh. The blood is the life thereof. Leviticus 17:12. King James Version. It's cool, it's cool they did that. I like it. Very obviously a gangrel. Poor bastard. Fubard. And then we're showing this evidence. The chick's obviously been feeding off of him. This guy probably beat him up a little bit. You can see his neck's all red, but he's got no genitals. So what? You're going to talk about gay bashing in real world events, but you're not going to show genitals? This guy's Wang. You're sending me two different messages, and I don't like that. But it is World of Darkness, and this is, I thought, also a pretty cool image. Reminds me of an old girlfriend I used to have. She looked a lot like that, so it's pretty cool. She didn't have fangs, and if she would have had blood all over her face, I'd have never went out with her. But that's neither here nor there. So these are these same two actors again. So it is a dude. Or at least it looks like a dude. So yeah, again, reusing the art, which is cool. I guess overall, I'm not a huge fan of the art style. That's the word I'm looking for. The art style. The layout is okay. I'm not super impressed with it. It's I don't know. It's like it's going too edgy, or it's trying to be too edgy, but it's not edgy. It's too nouveau for me. I guess that's the word I would use. But there's a lot of good information in here. I mean, that's a cool image. And these, I guess, are probably, these are all powers. vampire disciplines. So, and then we have rituals for like the Tremere and those who can cast spells. It'd be interesting to see. Is that an Assamite possibly? That would be cool. So just different alchemist, So very dark image there, chopped up and everything. So pretty cool. Not sure what's going on there. Looks like something out of Blade, the Marvel Comics movie. I'm not sure what all that is. Good fight scene between probably some Bruja, another Bruja. But this is the combat section. Now, what is this? Again, you're just totally yanking me out of. What is this supposed to be? Is this a dude on a bus? Is this an airplane? I don't know what it is. It's too abstract. So that's a cool picture. Get the world in his hands, turn into dust. The cities. So, just wanted to give you guys a look at the book. I dig this art. Just what do you guys think? I mean, do you have a copy of it? Do you like it? I haven't fully read through the mechanics. I'm going to give it a good solid read. I kind of actually want to run a campaign. I think it would look nice. I don't think I would probably use all the imagery and the art from either New World of Darkness or original Vampire. That's my theme of Vampire. This is not it. Now, I like what little bit of the mechanics I read. I've watched a couple live plays on YouTube, and I've liked them. I've liked what I've seen, so I'm pretty solid with that right there. So I'm gonna make this a little bigger, but it's. Yeah, it's all up to you. It's your World of Darkness. You make it what you want it to be. You enjoy it for what it is. You make it as dark or as light as you want it to be, or a little bit of both. My World of Darkness is pretty dark because these are monsters that eat people, is the bottom line. They subsist on blood and causing misery and aggravation. Even the best intentions of a noble vampire will cause misery and regret and everything in between because they eat people. And I like that. It's a game of personal horror, and you should find out things about yourself, and you should enjoy the storytelling aspect of the game. And maybe, it's the old saying, don't stare too long into the abyss or the abyss stares back. And, monster, do not hunt monsters lest monsters we become, or something to that effect. So I really dig it. I don't want to sound negative. I know the art direction that they went is not for me. I love the cover. I think the cover is neat. I'm very happy with the physical quality of the book. I mean, it's a solid hardback book. I'm very happy with it. I like the back. It's very cool. It's definitely got a nice heft to it. I mean, and the nice part is this is pretty much all you need, like most role-playing games. This is everything I need to start with. And then the Camarilla book and the Sabbat book, obviously they're just going to add more flavor and more disciplines and all that stuff. And I'll probably pick up the range as time permits and finances permit. But have you guys picked it up? What do you think about it? Do you like it? Do you like the art direction? I'm not a fan of it. It does not scream vampire to me like the old RK Post and all that, the previous art style direction did. And I think that part of it is I'm just jaded. Someone who's never seen Vampire the Masquerade, the original or the New World, may totally Jones on this. And if you're 25, 30 years old, this may be your version of the World of Darkness that relates to you. It doesn't relate to me. I'm a grognard. I'm 51 years old, and it just doesn't work for me. Does that mean it's bad? No. Do I like the book? Yes. Do I like what little I've read so far? Yes. Will I run this? Oh, hell yeah. If I get an opportunity to run this, I will totally run it because I think it'll be a good game. I like the little bit of mechanics I've read and the changes I've seen to the game, I'm totally on board, and I'm excited to see it. I'm going to watch some more live plays. Geek and Sundry has a game going right now that's pretty cool, and I'm enjoying it. As you guys know, I'm a huge Critical Role fan, and I watch every episode as soon as they post it to YouTube. So I'm excited to watch that. So let me know what you think about it, man. Did you get the dice? Do you like the feel of them? I didn't get to get the dice. I didn't see them at the store yesterday when I was there. I wanted to pick up a set. I have plenty of dice. I actually have some real nice red dice, so I can definitely, use those if I get into a game and I get to play. So that's my thoughts and opinions on Vampire the Masquerade from the new from World of Darkness. It's not even called the new World of Darkness. They just call it World of Darkness. It's published and not published. It's produced and distributed by Modifius. So they got their hands in a little bit of everything. I'm glad to see those guys are doing well. Next review is most likely going to be Esper Genesis. I'm reading it right now, and like I said, I'm going to probably get a game online on Discord, and then I'm also trying to put together my Mutants and Masterminds game. So if you're interested in either one of those, hit me up on Discord. There'll be a link in the video here that you can get to my Discord channel. I have a separate Discord channel for role-playing games where we actually play games there, and we record them. So if you have a video if you have a video camera and a microphone, you could jump in with a game with Mr. Mean, and we'll record it and stream it to the internet. OBS software is working great. I love it a lot. It's very easy to use. This is all done in OBS, and it's pretty easy. There's layers and all kinds of tickers and things, and I'm just not into all of that. Maybe if one of my viewers wants to help me out with it, I might set it up. But for this, it works perfect for me. So anyway, guys, that's my views on Vampire the Masquerade in a nutshell. Peace and hair grease, and remember, Mr. Mean says, be nice.